Hi guys, it's Rick Shiels down here at Quest Golf Academy here at Prairie Sports Village, and I'm testing Bridgestone golf balls. We've got the B330 range, we've got the B330 Tour, we've got the B330S, this is easy for me to say, it gets even more complicated. We've also got the B330RX and the B330RXS. Wow. I mean, that is, what a ridiculous name to call the golf balls, B330. I tried to do some research around why. The only thing I managed to kind of come across on their website was the fact that they've claimed to have done over 300,000 golf ball testing worldwide. So I would imagine there's a bit of a theme in that, because they reckon this is the best golf ball ever. That's what they've said on their website, best golf ball ever. And they're kind of doing a matchup against any other brand saying it's this good. I'm going to focus my attention on these two golf balls today because they've made the decision quite simple. Even though we've got 4 golf balls to choose from, there are 2 golf balls that suit club head speed with driver over 105 miles per hour, which I kind of fit into that category, and then 2 golf balls that actually cater for a more mass market of 75% of golfers who have a driver swing speed less than 105. I'll come to those at another point with a better tester. I think someone like Rob would test those quite nicely. I'll stay tuned for that. I am going to talk about the feel and the performance of these golf balls first off around the green, because like every ball test I've done so far, I've done the Pro V1, the TP5, the Callaway golf balls, the Volvic golf balls. I've always got to start at the putting green first. Always putt with the golf balls, chip with them, pitch with them, because if you like the feel of it, that is an important factor. So a couple of months ago now, I went over to Lumine in Spain and tested these golf balls. And this was the feedback I was getting from the B330 range. I'm going to start with the B330 Tour, which is the black ball. I was finding that this had medium soft feel, a firm sound when I chipped and putted with it, and it felt firm with very neutral spin. So it didn't blow me away. It wasn't superb for what is... These 2 golf balls are their premium golf balls, challenging the Pro V1s and the best golf balls out on the market. With the B330S, which is branded a little bit more of a spinny golf ball, that's where the S comes in, I was getting medium soft feel, again a clicky noise. The sound wasn't particularly great on these 2 golf balls when putting and chipping with them, but I was getting good feel and high spin on the wedge shots. Now at this point, I didn't know the S was the highest spin. This is just what I was writing down as I was testing these golf balls. So they're the 2 golf balls I'm going to continue using on GC Quad. I'm going to get some numbers in a moment. But I'll talk a little bit about the feel of these 2 golf balls as well, because I was getting with the Tour B330RX, which is suited for a swing speed with driver less than 105 miles per hour. Talking about compressions, talking about how a swing speed lower than that is going to compress this golf ball better than it will do the other 2 lines. I was getting nice feel, soft feel, a medium kind of sensation on sound. It wasn't as kind of hard hitting, it didn't sound as loud or clicky. With this one as well, I was getting good feel and good spin. That was the B330RX. Simple way, it's the red one. The one with the red number, quite simply. The silver box, which is the B330RXS, again, this is the spinny version for slow swing speeds. I was getting the same as above. I've literally put the same as above. So good feel, medium soft feelings, not too much noise, good feel, good spin. So these 2 golf balls, feel-wise, I wasn't getting anything different from these 2 at all. I'm going to put these 2 to bed now, because I think to really test these to the maximum, I need a swing speed that's less than 105. So I'm going to put those 2 to bed, but they are out on the market. They are balls to suit under 105 miles per hour club head speed. We now continue our journey with these 2. We've got the black ball, which is the distance ball, that's what they're claiming, and the blue ball, which is the spinny ball. The numbers on the golf ball represent what colour of box these come from, and the S is the spinny one. The S is the one that Tiger Woods is being signed to use. So he's using the B330S ball. Are you staying with me? You're still there? Good. Right, we get to the golf balls themselves. And there is a very unique dimple pattern I find on these golf balls. It's got its normal dimple, but inside the dimple, there's a micro dimple on every ball of all the B330 range. The idea around that is all about aerodynamics, which is something that I've not actually managed to measure or test, because trying to find how a golf ball flies through the air or prevents it from wind, you've got to play with that golf ball a lot. And unfortunately, I've not had a chance to do that yet. Maybe down the line, I'll do that with all the golf balls. But I think regarding aerodynamics, regarding whether it's a hexagon dimple, a circle dimple, a deeper dimple, a shallower dimple, they've tested it on wind tunnels, they've tested it under extreme circumstances, and each manufacturer seems to be coming up with a different way of making the golf ball more aerodynamic and streamlined. So, let's continue our journey. How I tested the golf balls now, I've come back to the Golf Academy, testing it on GC Quad, and I hit 5 golf shots with each ball with a full wedge shot at 100 yards, a brand new TaylorMade wedge. I then hit full 7-iron shots with a brand new 7-iron, a ping 7-iron, and then I hit full drivers, 5 shots again with the Callaway Epic driver. I picked the best 3 from each of the shots out of the 5, and then we've come up with the numbers that I'm going to present with you now. Let's start with the wedge shots first. So, when I was hitting the wedge shots, I was getting the numbers up here up on screen. The difference for me, I couldn't feel any difference. I couldn't see any difference in flight. They both went identical heights. They both launched almost identical. Is the B330S had a higher spin rate than the B330. Now, both had very high spin rates still. Both had over 10,000 spin rates, but the B330 had an extra 1,000 RPM spin rate more on a full wedge shot. And I was finding that around the greens as well. I was definitely finding the B330S, the blue ball, the blue number, was definitely a higher spin option. Definitely, I was finding that without question. As I moved then into the 7-iron, this is where now of any golf ball, I don't see massive amounts of differences from a 7-iron full shots and a driver full shots. I really don't. You see sometimes little jumps in speed, but that's pretty much it. We see very similar patterns, but the patterns aren't as extreme this time between the B330 and the B330S. The S, the spinny ball, the blue ball, I keep reminding you that, did have a higher spin rate, but both balls almost travelled identical distances. There was no difference in flight whatsoever. They both went high, they both went distance, they both got a good flight, they both feel exactly the same off the club face when hitting a full 7-iron shot. So we then move into hitting drivers with these 2 golf balls, and again, we didn't see a great deal of difference. The spin rate was low, the ball flight was good, they had good distance. Again, this is where I don't see any real value in testing golf balls with driver. I feel like all of the balls do it almost identical the same. Sometimes if you get a slightly harder one, yep, you pick up maybe some ball speed. Like the Volvic, I had over 160 miles per hour clubhead ball speed. I didn't get that with either of the Bridgestone golf balls that I tested these 2. But for me, that's not the biggest deal. I just want a golf ball that's going to have a consistent ball flight to it, not particularly be super long, because generally when you get a super long golf ball, it doesn't perform around the green, it doesn't spin particularly well. So across the driver shots, we see very similar numbers, almost no difference whatsoever on these 2 golf balls. And that's kind of backed up again, going back to the box. I hate golf ball boxes, they absolutely drive me insane, because every golf ball box pretty much says the same, what you want to hear, high spin, long distance, all of that jazz. Interesting on these 2 golf balls, on one of the columns here, it actually says, engineered for tour swings and centered strikes, which I was interested in hearing that, centered strikes. So they're kind of really putting these 2 golf balls high on the agenda of really being only tour player golf balls, elite players or tour players, which I think that's a bit of a mistake, because I actually think these are good golf balls and they're not going to make huge difference if they're in the hands of a wrong player, if I'm honest with you, even if their swing speed was a bit slow. So then went through the durability test, and then finally I've got them cut up in half as well. Let's go to the durability test first. So I hit 10 full golf shots with a wedge into the simulator as hard as I can. Now, people in other reviews when I've done this have said, well, that's not realistic. I know it's not realistic, but unless I played with the golf ball without losing it for really 2 or 3 rounds of golf, I wouldn't be able to put it under the strains and stresses that I am doing with the durability test. These 2 golf balls performed brilliantly in the durability test, quite brilliantly. The only thing that I saw was scuffing on the paintwork around the Bridgestone and the logo on the side. That is literally it. There was hardly any scuffing between the two golf balls. They have a cover on it that's called what have they called it? Slip Res cover. Now, in one of the promotional videos, they made a statement. They said it actually heals itself.
Slip Res technology allows the golf ball to repair itself, minimizing the impacts of scarring or abrasions that might occur under normal impact.
Now, this is a golf ball that I tested before, and the durability, I can see that it's damaged. I can see it's not done bad, but it's damaged. I don't see how that heals itself unless, maybe let me just try this. Abracadabra. No, that still doesn't heal itself. To actually claim that a golf ball heals itself is quite ridiculous, because a golf ball cannot heal itself. So a bit of a stupid statement there. The actual promotional video on the Bridgestone on the website was horrendous. It was so like over the top. They just drive me insane, the adverts that they put on there. So then we cut these two golf balls up in half. I wanted to see what was inside these two golf balls, the B330 and the B330S golf ball. And they almost look identical, just a different colour pattern. Now what they claim, they've made a core that's very large. So the core that's inside the golf ball is large on both of these two models. You see the Slip Res cover, you see the first inner kind of almost like squishy plasticky material between the cover and the central core, and that's it. Now, there must be a slight difference, because I'm definitely seeing a different spin rate and a different feel of the golf balls, even though the covers are the same. So there's got to be some difference within these inner cores that are making the spin rate change, but from when I'm actually looking inside them, there's hardly any difference whatsoever. It's not like one's a 3-piece ball and one's a 4-piece ball. They're both 3-piece golf balls. So as an overview of the first ever golf balls that I've ever tested from Bridgestone and possibly ever hit from Bridgestone, my initial impression is they do an incredible job. For these two golf balls, I actually think they're very, very good. For me, they compete with the best golf balls in the market. I feel like they're maybe not as soft as some of the others. I actually feel like the other two golf balls are a little bit softer, the ones that are suited for lower swing speeds. I feel like they may have made a little bit of a mistake making that separation between 105 miles per hour club head speed and less than 105 miles per hour club head speed. Because for me, a golf ball is not tested on club head speed with driver. That's my personal opinion. For me, it's all about feel and the performance you get around the green side. Full shots, unless you go for a really hard golf ball, there's going to be no huge difference on distances from what I have ever tested or seen. The dimpling pattern is very unusual. I'd love to test that under windy conditions, but I'll have to come back to that another time. Very interesting. I'll get Rob, or a slower swing speed golfer, to try the, are you ready for this? B330RX and the B330RXS. Again, the worst name of the golf balls in the world, because it's just not simple. They should have made the naming of it much simpler. Guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, click that thumbs up button. Comment below, what do you think of the whole idea of swing speeds differ to quality of golf ball that you use. I'm not a massive fan of it. Bridgestone claim they've done over 300,000 ball fittings. They should have the most information possibly in the world. But I just don't see that being a massive factor. For me, it's more about greenside control and feel around the greens. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I might be getting some Bridgestone guys and fans coming over to the channel. If you are new, I do loads of testing, loads of reviews. I test equipment, do course videos, do instructional videos. So hit that subscribe button and it keeps you connected with all future content. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned, plenty more to come. And that was the Bridgestone, I'll have to say it one more time, Bridgestone B330 and B330S. Easy for me to say.